Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel. On point reviews all day, every day. Welcome back yet again, everybody. If you are one of my old subscribers, it's great to see you again. Welcome back. And if you are new to the channel, if this is the first time you've seen my videos whatsoever, please make sure to hit like and subscribe, because this is just one of many videos where I do address a lot of curiosities right here. And speaking of curiosities, this video is a real versus clone comparison. And this is a popular series in my channel. We got thousands of views on all my videos. Why? Because I take an unbiased approach when it comes to this stuff. I do not side with the original company and I do not side with the clone company. I just simply compare them and I break it down for you guys so you know what to expect when you buy these fragrances. So you kind of get a 2-for-1 when it comes to these videos right here. So today we're going to talk about a super hyped fragrance. Super hyped. And then the clone too is super hyped because, you know, they kind of follow each other. The fragrance that we are going to talk about today, I already reviewed in the past, so I had to dig up my decant of this fragrance. And this fragrance is called Nishane Nefs, okay? Nishane Nefs. If you watched the original video I had, this is the same vial. I wore it a few times and then I kind of put this aside and then watched as the hype grew. And then now that there's a clone, I had to like dig it back up. And of course, we've got the clone right here made by DUA Fragrances. This is Century 16, guys. Century 16 by DUA Fragrances. This is supposedly the Nishane Nefs clone, okay? I have been testing this, you know, for the past few days because I really wanted to come up with, you know, a really good explanation for you guys on how they smell, because I know a lot of you also purchased the DUA without smelling the original whatsoever. So it's important that you know what the original smells like too. Okay, so let's talk about Nishane Nefs first right here, okay? The OG, the original. This fragrance released back in 2019. So about 2 years before the hype began. For me, my personal story with Nishane Nefs was I kind of knew it was there, but nobody at that time was really talking about it. So I came in as a reviewer 2020, pretty much all of 2020 until a certain point. Nobody talked about it. Nobody owned it. Nobody was really curious about it. So it was just me and a few other people that we're looking at it from the perspective of, wow, this is the most expensive Nishane. I wonder what this smells like. It must be incredible because it's the most expensive centerpiece fragrance of Nishane. So that's the only thing that made me curious, okay? But at that time when I was reviewing this stuff, there was no buzz about Nefs, nothing like that at all. So we know that right now, the thing that's going on right now, this is a Fragcomm hype thing, okay? So this was probably hyped in the groups, in the message boards, people hyping it up, and so, you know, it kind of blew up to this point, okay? And I'm not complaining, that's really great. The more the hype, the more people watch my videos. So Nishane Nefs, I'll tell you guys, is a very complex fragrance, okay? The last time I talked about it, I said that this could be like a mafioso or a Yakuza guy's perfume. And I haven't changed my mind on that. I really do believe that this fragrance is truly a very macho type fragrance right here, guys, okay? And you know what? I think, and this is my opinion, that I think the reason why Nishane Nefs is like blowing up right now is actually because of another fragrance that it may not be similar, but this fragrance that I'm gonna say right here, in my opinion, started gaining traction. And that fragrance is Unique Luxury Coute. Okay, so Unique Luxury Coute is the fragrance that comes into mind whenever I think about Nishane Nefs at this point, because I'm just like, how did that hype start? You know, how did it start from nothing? There was nothing for about 2 years. And then suddenly on the 3rd year, there's all this hype. But for me, guys, I mean, Coute is a fragrance I own. A lot of y'all request me to review it. And although they are not exactly the same, I get the same feels from Coute. Whiskey, your light floral parts, and then you have like that sort of like that suede accord feel. It's very like macho. And of course that, in my opinion, links to a certain part of the population that likes those types of fragrances. But in my opinion, Coute, the hype and the love for Coute kind of bridged towards Nefs. I don't think, you know, people just started trying it at 2020, 2021 and started really feeling this. I think that some actually liked Kute first. Let's look into the notes right here. On the opening notes, you're gonna get fig, you're gonna get saffron, you're gonna get honey, you're gonna get violet and sage right here, guys, okay? And again, this is a unique, very, very unique combination. I mean, you're not gonna see a lot of fragrances with this type of start. And I will say this, the start has a fast fig fruity part, and then it goes into saffron. You're gonna get the spice of saffron, and then of course you have your honey, and then you have those herbal nuances in the background. Again, this won't be like anything you've ever tried, that's for sure. And on the mid, guys, you've got your rose, you've got your osmanthus, you've got your geranium, you've got your jasmine, and your nutmeg, guys, okay? So all these notes are definitely prevalent, but I'll tell you this, guys, I mean, when you spray the original Nishane Nefs, I think that the base notes are so strong that the base notes rise above. So the development of Nishane Nefs isn't really like, you know, top to mid to base. I think that the base notes are so powerful that you can smell them even as you are smelling the top. The whiskey note, the agarwood note, the leather note, these heavy hitting notes, guys, really are power packed, okay? So you can smell some of them right from the beginning, and that makes cloning Nishane Nefs hard. In my opinion, that is a big challenge to actually make something smell a certain way when the notes are all over the place in the way that they develop. It's not like you can say, oh, well, it goes from here to here to here. No, because you are going to get all sorts of different smells with Nishane Nefs. Really early on, you are going to get that whiskey note, guys, okay? And you are gonna get your oud and leather, okay? Remember, I told you guys, it's a machismo type of fragrance. I'm not talking about like physical build like Macho, but just like the character of somebody. Very manly, very masculine, very macho, at least in your head. That's what I'm getting here with this fragrance right here, and all the base notes really contribute to that. Now, there are some sweeteners. You've got vanilla, you've got amber, you've got cinnamon, but it's not in a mass appealing way. You know what I mean? Like, they're just there to sweeten these hard charging base notes right here. And the florals are the same way. Your osmanthus, your rose, all those florals, the jasmine, they're sort of like these background players to the hard hitters. Definitely, you know, it's a mix-up. You know, it's a mix-up when you try Nishane Nefs. There are a lot of notes, and some of them are just stronger than the other. Now, if you're a fan of Kute, you're definitely gonna like Nefs, guys. I'm sort of like a 50-50 fan of Kute. I'm not like a super fan. I wasn't really hyped by it because I kind of know how these notes progress, and I don't really collect a lot of super machismo types of perfumes. And if you're a DUA fan, for the DUA fans out there, if you're a fan of La Cosa Nostra, for example, which is also a boozy, you know, like night at the bar type fragrance right there, super macho, you know, it was about the mafia. If you're into DUA fragrances La Cosa Nostra, which I also reviewed, then this will be for you as well. And if you are into light, mass appealing fragrances, then this is not for you. Okay, plain and simple, guys, okay? So let's go talk about the Clone Century 16 by DUA Fragrances right here. This was sent to me by Mahsam from DUA Fragrances, and what's really cool about Mahsam, I have to say, is that he knows I'm unbiased. Like, he knows I'm not gonna be like kissing ass right here making a review. If it is well earned, I'm going to really say it, and if it's not, if it's sort of like 50-50, I'll kind of explain the differences, okay? So props to Mahsam. Thank you to Mahsam. I mean, he's already, you know, he's got an empire right there. So initial feedback I got from a lot of people buying this was that, man, whoa, this fragrance needs to chill, okay? This fragrance needs to chill. So I mean, I was thinking when I saw like that kind of feedback, and these are, you know, people that haven't tried, you know, Nishane Nefs, I was just like, oh, they're not used to, you know, that kind of approach, because Nefs is unique on its own, and maybe they're not used to fragrances like DUA La Cosa Nostra, which is like, boom, it was like a power punch type fragrance. And so, okay, I just kept that in mind. But when I tried Century 16, I'll tell you guys, and I've never done this with other fragrances, I literally, as I smelled it, I went like this. And even when I tried again, I still went like this. I was like, whoa, whoa. And I started to get what everybody was saying. Like, you know, let's let this fragrance settle down, or it needs to settle down, because there was a sharp smell that just boom hit my nostrils the moment I smelled it right there. Okay, and the thing is, guys, the moment I smelled Century 16, I immediately was like, this doesn't smell like Nefs. Okay, I really was like, wait, this doesn't remind me of Nefs. And then I checked out another reviewer, because there was another reviewer, I think his name was Honest Reviews. I wanted to see what he had to say, and he said that the fragrance Century 16 smelled like bug spray, right? Bug spray. Him and his wife or girlfriend said that, you know, it smells like bug spray. And for me, I'll tell you, I'm going to validate that. I'm going to validate what he said, because it kind of does. Okay, so that was the shocking part. Like, in my opinion, maybe they still had the same notes. But like I told you guys, this Nefs is so complex because there are different amounts in there. You know what I mean? Like, there are different amounts of the notes that overlap each other. That's what makes this fragrance, man, in my opinion, so difficult to decode, so difficult to clone based on Century 16. Century 16, in my opinion, is just a lot of leather, a lot of a whiskey note without the sweetening parts, maybe oud, and violet and sage. Okay, violet and sage, not too much saffron. And again, maybe because of the balancing of those notes, it ends up smelling like bug spray. But for me, it was very powerful. Like I said, it went through my nostrils and it pulled my head back when I was trying this one right here. It is very strong. It is very strong. But unfortunately, it doesn't capture, you know, the Nishane Nefs smell. Because the thing about Nefs, guys, is that although this one is a power-packed fragrance, I didn't say that, you know, the base notes would overwhelm, you know, the entire fragrance. I'm just saying that it will come early. Like early on the top notes, as you're smelling the honey, you might already start smelling the whiskey and the vanilla. Or you can also start smelling the oud right at the mid with the florals in the back. So it's really, really interesting, guys. But definitely, I would say Century 16, like, you know, misses it right here, because it really doesn't smell like Nefs whatsoever. And I know some of you DUA fans are probably saying, like, I should macerate this, I should let it sit for about, you know, a few weeks to a month. And, you know, it's been 2 weeks, guys. Okay, so I tested this today. It's still the same. So I'll allow it another month maybe and check at it again. But let me tell you guys, it's really not the same. And really, it's another effort by DUA. I mean, when I started reviewing DUA fragrances, they were actually missing a lot of their initial niche clones, and then it started getting good. But yeah, no, you can't get everything like 100% right. So I mean, you know, they tried definitely, but you're not gonna get Nefs. In my opinion, Nefs will still be Nefs. You know what I mean? This one came short. And, you know, Nefs will have just more prominent notes. You know, it'll have that prominent whiskey note, but it's also sweetened and blended well with leather and oud, you know, and then you've got the florals in the back. And that's really Nishane, guys, you know. I guess they're just really good at what they do, and they are a hard act to follow. It's hard to clone them, guys, okay? So it's pretty consistent now, okay? I've done 2 other very prominent clones of Nishane. I talked about DUA's Drowning in Vanilla for Ani, and I thought that it missed the mark. I didn't think that it smelled close, like really close to Ani, or I wouldn't replace Ani. And then Hachi Vatu was the same, okay? So Ottoman Breeze, which I also reviewed, a Nishane fragrance clone, did not match Hachivat, in my opinion. So Nefs, they missed it again. So I don't know what Nishane is doing. I don't know if it is their synthetic stuff that's just not copyable. But I mean, yeah, I'll give them props for trying again, because Nefs is pretty hyped right now. It's just, yeah, it smells like a bug spray, you know, whiskey, non-sweet, leather type fragrance. You know, it's not supposed to be like that, at least not for Nefs. And my opinion on Nefs will always stay the same, with or without the Fragcomm hype. I got into this before the hype, so I'm telling you guys, try this first, okay? It's a machismo type fragrance right here, and it will be in the same vein as Unique Luxuries Coute, okay? So if you like Coute, there's a high chance that you're gonna like Nefs. So that is it. That is my 100% honest review, or comparison rather, between Nishane Nefs and DUA's Century 16. Again, I want to thank Mahsam for sending this over. He knows that it's still going to be an unbiased approach to the clones. And I mean, DUA, in my opinion, is still number one. You know, it's still number one. I think that there's still that company that makes not only the clones that, you know, a lot of them match too, like the Angel Share, but also you've got the hybrids and the tribrids, and they do have original blends that I truly like. Their Roja is pretty good, you know, their Roja DUA clones are pretty good, especially the expensive ones. The black tier one, the Love one was amazing. So I mean, you know, it's a hit or miss thing with this, so definitely this one's a miss, but don't count DUA out because they do have a lot of hits. I mean, that's the reason why I have a playlist just for DUA. Okay, so that's it, guys. Make sure to hit like and subscribe and check out the playlists on our real versus clone comparisons, guys. And I will do a lot more. I will do more for Alexandria and Dapper eventually. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you on the next video. God bless. Take care. Have a great day.